What's going on, everybody? Gio here, on the fly reaction, scenic views, all credentials out the way, so let's get right to it. Uh, if you haven't read THR's latest article, dis- discussing Guillermo del Toro and his position on his latest movie and the buzz that it's getting, which is called Shape of Water, then I highly suggest you should. And what I love about it is mainly just the simple fact that he really highlights this this cool idea that really resonates with a lot of filmmakers, and really is important to highlight in that movies being social commentaries of the time and why they're necessary. And his talk of how the world is in need today of a Cold War love story, if you will, and kind of discussing the idea of this movie and what the Cold War time era was like, where people were living in this era where dreams and of the future were a big thing, and America being great was, the advancements that it had in the race to space, and in the kitchen, as it mentions in the article about how all the modern technology, everything being pristine, and this was the idea of the future that Americans had. And so this idea of making America great again, this potentially being the according to the article, Guillermo del Toro suggesting that this is the time that Americans are considering, and then what follows after is the Prince of America, if you will. John F. Kennedy gets shot. We go into Vietnam War, and everything just goes, crazy, and so trying to get back to this era, and yet going back to this era, really being a farce. Um, but again, all that to say that the social commentary that he's making in that uh, this movie is timeless, because that era being an era where a lot of things were being addressed, and how we think that in the 60s a lot of the social issues that we had with the civil rights movement and whatnot were addressed, and how we look at today and everything going on in the news, and how we see just a lot of crazy things taking place that makes you question if any of that ever even left. And so I think it's really cool, and I really wanted to highlight this article and encourage you guys to read it, because it's really neat to see filmmakers that are in touch with social issues, and know that they have a gift and a responsibility to speak out and encourage and really bring to the highlight, or bring to the forefront and highlight certain things that we see happening in this movie that we can relate to today, now, and how so much hate is rampant, and how so much division is rampant, and how so much just evil is out there, and getting even in the world getting smaller through social media, and how it's more evident that this is all out there. We're no longer immune to knowing that it's out there, and so how I like how I just love seeing directors, and somebody with his vision as well. He's just a phenomenal director in general, but somebody with his incredible artwork and his incredible eye and his incredible artistic ability, being able to bring to the table a movie that not only entertains, but it to some degree puts the medicine in the food and addresses the social issues, but while not addressing them, while making the audience uh, uh, face these issues. So I thought it was a really cool article, and I wanted to speak on it and have a quick reaction, because I think in today's day, with as much hate that's rampant, it's awesome and it's cool to see filmmakers try to cure hate with love, and by doing so with their art form. And I stand behind that 100%, and I agree with the sentiment. If you don't know what I'm talking about, read the article, comment below, let me know what you guys think, because I'd like to get your opinion on this. It's my opinion that artists, not politicians, change the world, but artists. And this is an example of that in a small case. And when with so much hate being rampant, look for the nuggets of small good that are taking place, especially in films. I know people love to trivialize films, but there's something much deeper, and when you really get to know what's going on behind the scenes, I mean, I know many don't care, they just want to go see the film, but behind the scenes there's a lot of thought being put into these things, by filmmakers, these movies, these ideas, these stories, these arcs, so that they can resonate. And then there's others that I obviously have gripes with, that I can't stand, that I don't feel really do that often, and we won't get into that. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about that article, and how neat it was. And I really think what Guillermo del Toro is touching on, and even this move and making this movie, it's very necessary. And it goes back to why one of the first videos we did in movies, and the importance of them and why we need them. them being the art form that can really change a social uh, mentality. It can shift social ideals if used right, and if used wrong, could be used into propaganda and creating all sorts of evils that we've seen in the past. So, anyways, that was just a very grounded article that I read, and I just thought it was really neat, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. And so, kind of want to get your thoughts and opinions on it. Don't want to go too much into the article. I encourage you guys to read it, and then below, share your comments. Tell me what you think. Like, share, as always, subscribe, and as always, we're grateful for the views and the interaction that you guys have with us. So.